So if you're watching this video, then you're either a friend, partner, parent, co-worker, someone who knows someone who's experiencing health anxiety, or maybe you've got health anxiety and you want to maybe advise your friends or advise people you know. So this is just my experiences of how I kind of want people to interact with my health anxiety, but also maybe experiences that I've had that have made things better or worse. And just some advice, I think, if you are a friend, of what I would do if someone had health anxiety. So kudos to you. You're already a great person for this person for watching this video. I'm John and I do videos on lots of different things, but videos to make life a little bit easier, some product reviews, general chit chat about health anxiety, hiatus hernias, hair loss, lots of random stuff. So I also do weekly meditations that I'm doing for the summer as well. So if you want to check any of those out, I'm doing 10-minute ones on different topics, then check those out as well. Now, I've talked a lot about health anxiety on this channel, so you could probably find a video somewhere, but a brief overview. I've experienced health anxiety on and off through my life. I started talking about it a few years ago, had some CBT for it, even wrote a memoir about it, which hasn't been released, but it was therapeutic for me to sort of understand where it all came from. And I'm in a dramatically different place with my health anxiety. It used to consume so much of my life, and it still does in times, but nowhere near as significantly as it did when I was going through these phases, what I'd call them, where I would convince myself I have something after hearing about something or talking to someone or hearing about a disease, and then suddenly I would just hyper-focus and connect all the dots. That headache's this, that pain's this. And it'd be really hard to shake the uncertainty of, and I did have an experience of it recently. I had this pain in my side, and I was thinking about it's the worst. I talked about it on YouTube. And then I had this colonoscopy and suddenly the pain dramatically went away. But there's a brief overview. So everyone's different as well. So maybe your friends isn't about life-threatening things. Maybe it's about something else. It's difficult because sometimes you might think it's a good idea to talk about things as normal, like diseases and stuff, not to make someone feel like they're being singled out or being tiptoed around. The unfortunate thing is hearing about diseases for someone who has health anxiety is always going to be something that, maybe not in that moment, but something that later on they're going to Google. Every time a friend mentions a disease, I Google it. It's just, I don't as much now, but when I was experiencing health anxiety in my unaware state, that's what I would do straight away. So being aware that so the first thing is just being extra mindful of how you're talking about diseases. You often hear about family members getting cancer, and I even heard about it a few times recently from a few different friends about different relatives who passed away or been diagnosed with things. And in the past and now, still to a level, it is triggering. I feel like that word's an annoying word, isn't it, for some people? But I use trigger as like a way for me to understand my health anxiety. I'm triggered by something, and then that causes me to spiral or to do anxiety-inducing habits. It's just, I think trigger is a great word for it. So just thinking about, am I triggering my friend or triggering my loved one by mentioning this disease? And is it something they need to hear? Do you need reassurance about this? And if you do, can you just preempt your friend that you're going to be talking about this? And sometimes I wish that people in my life would do that a little bit, especially if they know about my health anxiety and without just saying it. I think, because then it reminds me of my own health anxiety. I'm going to talk about this. It's a nice thing. It feels like a nice gesture, but also it prevents me from spiraling because I'm focusing more on my health anxiety as a thing more than this disease that they're talking about. So if you are going to talk about a disease or you're going to talk about a particular thing, maybe just saying to that person, I'm going to talk about something that's about health. Are you okay to talk about that today? Maybe they're not, So that's the first thing, just being extra mindful of when you hear things. The Then the next thing is when the thing's out of your control. Maybe it's a stranger chatting to you about a disease. Maybe it's you watching something on the cinema about about a health disease, and you might not be able to see, but I guarantee if they've got health anxiety or they're worried about something, they're doing a maths equation in their head of probability and possibility of whether it could be something, and they'll probably Google it later or whatever. So just checking in with that person after that. That goes a long way. Obviously it's not your burden. If for someone who's got health anxiety, you can just help. There's no guilt. Guilt culture's gone. Nothing that you can do. It's someone else. It's the person who's experiencing its thing to deal with. You can just help making life a little bit ease for them. So you can. So if those things are on TV and stuff, which they are a lot, or a stranger is talking about it, just check in and just go, oh, I know that they mentioned a disease in that. How was that for you? And then maybe we'll open up about it and maybe talk about it, and that'll help them just by sparking it. Because sometimes for health anxiety, you feel we're a bit embarrassing, a bit stupid. So just feeling like someone understands and is taking us seriously will probably, have a big impact, because it feels then like you feel heard, you feel like the anxiety is taken seriously, and it isn't hypochondriac. It's of how intense it actually feels, someone else understanding that. And that goes into the next one, which was just checking in as well, just generally, how's your health anxiety been recently? Because then that also goes back to the health anxiety for the person. That's the thing that changed it the most for me. Having something, which is health anxiety. So it's I don't need to scramble to figure out what this is, because it's health anxiety. So, because that's the thing that it is. So I don't need to look for these diseases, and because I can just go, I know that logically is health anxiety and not some incurable thing that is something that I can't even possibly have. So just bringing you back to that. So just checking in now and again, reminding that person about health anxiety. If they're really struggling to a very extreme point, then you can direct them to maybe some YouTube videos, but there's loads of other great ones out there about health anxiety. But I would seriously suggest getting them to speak to someone. CBT or therapy just made such a big difference for me. Encourage them to write down how they're feeling. Try and get them to avoid anxiety-inducing habits. So seeking reassurance is one. And you might think, I'm chatting to them to help them. But seeking reassurance is something that is a temporary fix. And then the next day it's still there. So I would go to a friend and I'd be like, do you think I've got this? They would say no. Don't be silly. That'd be great for that night. I'm like, oh, brilliant. Then the next day it's back again. It doesn't fix it. So almost not fully, diving into it, trying to change the topic, change the narrative, change the, can we do something else for the day to help take your mind off it? If you are struggling, can I direct you to this? Can I direct you to that? So just thinking of all of those things instead to take the focus away. But the biggest thing to finish on is, I think, just understanding health anxiety a little bit more will help you have a conversation about it a bit more. Because everyone's experienced health anxiety to some degree at some point, so it's not something that's completely alien. But for someone who's having severe health anxiety, it's not just now and again I'm worried because, I've had a blood test recently and I'm just kind of, it's just on the back of your mind. That's a human thing. It's the irrational mind with health anxiety that's extreme. It's going to places that's dark. And those dark places then consume you because they're dark, and then they're thoughts that are not day-to-day thoughts that we should be having. So just trying to understand a little bit more of what's going on, and having someone to chat to about health anxiety. Maybe not about, do you think I've got this? Do you think I've got that? Having someone to chat to about health anxiety. Starting that conversation. But you're a good person for watching this video and for thinking about your friend who's experiencing health anxiety. So, as I said at the beginning, kudos to you. If you liked this video, or you want to see anything else, or if you want some more videos on health anxieties or some of the ones on the channel, then give me a subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing.